Sorry. I'm looking for the... Here it is. No, it's not. Yes, what page? 23.
21.
Page 21. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Tusum Sanjitam, Jijungo, Rita Jungo, Jimji Jabda, Karizuna Majiba, Jijabi, Shabidur, Mameval. Govir of the Gozo Gavajimbe Goneja, Zaje, Dajisum Jidam, Jushinjelum, Javana Seratum Jedo, Zavajimbe Gone, Jesus, one Zedo, so Gange, Jazo, Dave Mungo, Kisanzum Benarajin, Sumbesu, and the seven looking make it to Janamakuna, Juranjisum Jeko, and Jabe. Tuan Bima Kabe Jabedra and Dalu so John, Chen Solan, Bima Dombo, Javano, Duran, Zope, and Jinsope, and this one, Baby. Bima Jone Dalu so John, Chinya, Tunga, Chicken, Jingo of Gankin, looking to members of a lot of good and Indo Joro, could I issue to maybe Jane Kalantebak. Jambarjona Bemraje de Ganegavetu, Juju, Bema, Carbon to Beja, the Sons of Tonga Tavache, Ninkam, Solo and Cho, the way Antinga Paramida, Gumbola and Devata, Tomini, Solan Jujeta, Sonia Shana Nipo, so Damlin Chotnam Jedi, John Carter, the Garajin Bengo, Kunyuga Vegetator. Nimbit the baby Nanjurba to me with the Kabja John said I have a Sebo Shivala, and Dr. Mozu Shawad, some Pomjo Donga around Jimmy Chichiwam Bedai. Ito and Jambara Nation of the Gombelona Pope de Joto, touching the Jamzanga and Joram Panjabi and Jedi, John Kange, Dalari Balopa down, Dojitin Jimenga Jidins. La Pazada Wangorchin Labe, Jutin Jelam, Dai, John, Yundi Sanjikun, Danyam Naya, Kadin Sanjikun, Laping, Travel, Michel, Swan. Dawson Dover, Lona, Chula, Sanje, Judan, Soji, Chonam, La, Sanju, Padodana, Jason. Dagi, Chini, Jibet, Sonam, Jin, Dola, Princess Sanjin, Duba, Shaw, Sanje, Judan, Soji, Chonam, La, Sanju, Padodana, Jason, Dagi, Chini, Jibet, Sonam, Dola, Princess Sanjin, Duba, Shaw, Sanje, Judan, Soji, Chonam, La, Sanju, Padodana, Jason, Dagi, Chini, Jibet, Sonam, Dola, Princess Sanjin, Duba, Shaw. Okay. We are going to continue teaching that your mind is your teacher, self-awakening through contemplative meditation. Today, we are, Thinker's Guide to Enlightenment. And the second chapter. And of course, we don't have go through detailed, but I'm going to some way of synthesize those meanings. And here, meditation means. It is significant that the Tibetan word for meditation, Gom, means to become familiar with. In the practice of contemplative meditation, page 21, first we analyze our choosing subject matter until we are completely familiar with it. Once we have become familiar with the subject, we can rest in the understanding without thinking analytically. Thus, both contemplative rest and meditation slow down the discursive mind. Then I'm just using some examples, and maybe it's a helpful for the meditators. If everybody's, yeah, I think it makes sense. Some examples. Without meditation, both contemplative resting, our mind is filled with many concepts, thoughts, and emotional states, like a rainy day, driving in a busy city during rush hour. Mentally, we have the honking horns, taxis, buses, and all the other drivers hunched over their wheels trying to get somewhere. With meditation, our mind can slow down and our thoughts lessen. Now it is like driving with the top down on the beautiful day in the countryside. We have the mental equivalence of flowers, trees, and beautiful views. With this is just examples. I use regular our daily life examples. When you meditate, then it makes sense. And also when you're driving and any situations, it's remembered. It's helpful day by day. With a straight road and a few cars. So how do we arrive at this state of mind, the like of driving in the country, lead to relaxation, contentment, and happiness? Contemplative meditation use our intelligence ability to think in order to help gradually dissolve our unhelpful and the troublesome habit patterns along with the confused thoughts and emotional states and experience our calm, relaxed, and a clear wisdom mind. Okay. So this is just about meditation, and with meditation, without meditation, and what's going on in our mind, and using the driving and the city or so forth. Then when we meditate, it's very important things we have to know. Mindfulness, awareness. Page 23. Before we begin in contemplative meditation, as a practice, it is helpful in the long run to spend a little time looking at our usual thoughts and the beliefs. For the meditation to be effective, and the mind needs to be able to stay with one subject long enough to become familiar with the topics and develop insight. Most of us have an unruly mind that jumps everywhere like a monkey playing in the trees. In the broad sense, we can consider our mind to have three main parts: thoughts and emotions, mindfulness, awareness. To help understand what this means, imagine yourself driving in a busy freeway at rush hour. It's the same thing when I'm using these examples. When you're driving, then you can recognize mindfulness, awareness at that moment. Your body is the car. The act of driving is your thoughts and emotions. The forces that driving the action of your body. Remembering the rule and law of the road, where you are and where you are going, is mindfulness. Notice the environment in which you are driving and how the cars all around you are moving, is awareness. In the meditation, you are asking your awareness, the part of your mind that you use when you notice all the other drivers around you, to pay attention to your personal thoughts and emotions. Mindfulness awareness are essential to any type of meditation. Without mindfulness and awareness, you cannot contemplate. '24 now. In a meaningful, clear, and inquisitive fashion. Mindfulness keeps you from forgetting the object of contemplation. Awareness holds that mind to contemplation. Recognize when intention that shift to something else, and bring it back. It is helpful if you can recognize these three parts of your mind early on in your practice. If you can identify them, then you can strengthen the mindfulness awareness and not be discouraged by the discursive of thoughts and emotions. So, yeah, I think if you have any questions about mindfulness, then just let me know if you need further explanation about this. Okay. Sometimes mindfulness these days using terms just aware of everything. That means not a particular something, just be aware of everything. That's usually we call mindfulness. But if you look at it in the teachings of the Abhidharma, the mindfulness has particular mental states that you are not forgetting what you know. Are using here driving, and we know the law on the road, speed, and also red light, green light, and everything. If you're noticing that, then that's just mindfulness. And of course, awareness. This is a key for the meditation. And then I have lots, I think, if we can go through whole. Okay. The precious human birth, it's page 33. Page 33. Yeah, 33. Oh, a little bit. I think I have a little bit of trouble today. Maybe it helps. Okay, now practice human birth. Okay, we should embrace ourselves as we are, because being human is the best possible birth in the world. In lots Dharma teachings, emphasize precious human birth, precious human birth, precious human birth. If we don't recognize this, then we are losing a great chance. And if we recognize it is precious, so then we can take advantage of our life and make meaningful and helpful. And if you just ignore in our life, it's just part of, who we are now, who are we, and then, not much meaningful. From Dharma point of view, to get the human life, we have to have a lot of merit in the past lives. It's not just only some merit as a good of performing something. We have to have discipline practice. That discipline practice is a cost of taking rebirth of human beings. And even just human being, we have many levels of human beings. Some has a lot of abilities. It's like us. We have, we are not disabled. The mentally not ability to receiving Dharma teachings, and so forth. But here, we have to think about a positive way of our life, and I include here many things. If you go through later, there's some things I would like to acknowledge here. You may not, and I just use some human achievement, some things, and also we are born with fortunate time, and even environment and the conditions we are right now is a really fortunate time. Think about it. Ice age. That's very cold. If we were born at that time, as humans, maybe at that time there's not opportunity to receiving precious Dharma teachings. And later also the global warming and large Dharma teachings saying that the world has become complicated. But now is a good time. Even if you think about it like that, at this is the right time. Take as birth as humans, we have lots of great opportunities. If you don't recognize that then maybe it's a danger to losing these great opportunities. And I would like to read a little bit here. I had heard scientists predicting that in the future, with global warming and the population growing, living conditions will become much harder for beings. At the page 34. Population growth, living conditions will become much harder for beings on this planet. When the population is more than the planet can support, natural resources will be, life will be difficult. Astronomer says that down the road, many hundred millions of years from now, our life-giving sun will destroy the planet, Earth, the very now. This is the examples. Sometimes, right now, sun is supporting for the Earth, for the us and human all species, sentient beings living in the Earth. But some in the futures, all living sentient beings in this planet destroyed by sun. Sometimes friends turn to the enemy. Right? Similar is going to happen. Buddha's predicting his Dharma teachings in the future, then how our world is going to end, and the sun is going to destroy this planet. It's not only science predictions; it's also Buddha's his teachings, similar way of predicting. You may not have thought much about being born in the most fortunate time and place unless you realize that your karma, the consequence of the period actions, could lead to being born as non-human beings. From the Buddhist point of view, we are living as human beings at the present, but this is not our only life. There are past lives, and there will be future lives. Our past lives are like yesterdays. This life is today, and the future lives are our tomorrows. That's just simple examples. We don't see yesterday is already gone. It doesn't mean that yesterday doesn't exist. But right now we don't see it. We don't see tomorrow, but similar, we don't see our future lives. But it doesn't mean that as there future life does not exist. It exists, but we don't see it right now. Just using yesterday, today, and tomorrow as examples. Past life, present life, and the future lives. There is a short time between these lives. It's called the pardo. The pardo terms in Tibetan. In intermediate state, which is much like the period of dreaming between going to sleep and waking up. Death is a simple way of, if you describe death in the past life, future lives, just think about it. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the pardo is go to sleep and we have dreams. And our death process is similar when we go to sleep. All five senses slowly dissolving, and our alaya consciousness just resting there. At the big, I think maybe I have here some and those teachings, but then all senses, the consciousness dissolving, and then just only alaya consciousness, which is sometimes we call it ground consciousness. It's their resting mind. And the beginning of sleeping is that there is no any experience whatsoever. But then a little while, and our habitual patterns arising as a dream. Similar, when we die, it's still all senses, consciousness, and elements, earth, water, fire, relate to this body, is just dissolving, then only in the consciousness. Then later, the consciousness, sometimes we call it a mental being. That's go to the next life. And in the next life, in this life between, they're called pardo. They're wandering a little while, and many Dharma teachings saying that it's not exactly how long that person stay in the pardo, intermediate state. But common people, the longest, they say stay in the 49 days. Maybe someone stay shorter, someone stay maybe longer. I don't know. But in the teachings, just general, they described that 49 days. And the traditional, a lot Dharma practitioners, I think, and Tibetan Buddhist, some in Chinese too, probably in other countries, Korea, Vietnam, and so forth, Mahayana Buddhist, they do 49 days. It's crucial to practice, to do something meritorious activities dedicated for someone passed away. And we believe that that's a way of helping them. If they need a little bit merit to take rebirth, higher realms, which is like humans or others, or maybe enlightenment. There's some described in saying that the person walking very dangerous cliffs, if it's almost fell down, but someone helped a little bit, it helps a lot. Similar, if someone passed away in the pardo, if they need a little bit of merit, and that person can't do it, but the families and the friends, that's why the great Dharma practitioners practice in the dedicating for them. It helps. This is idea. Okay. There are many realms, yeah, sure, waking up. There are many realms which are grouped into 6 large categories. God, Deva, jealous God, Asura. Asura Deva is the Sanskrit terms. Human, animal, hungry ghost, Pitta, and the hell beings, hell realms. And those, when describing in the Abhidharma teachings, cost of taking rebirth in the God is that pride or jealousy. If we are often jealous, some good fortune, someone else, then those is a cause of taking rebirth in the God realms. Or cause of taking rebirth in the God realm. God realm. God's realm or God realm, either is fine. It's a jealous. Jealousy. Yeah. Get it? That's right. In this time, if you lost jealous someone good fortune, then that is a cause to take rebirth in the God realms. No. God is we are still in the samsara. But that's also jealousy. It makes trouble too. But not only that, if you make lots of jealousy, it's not really cause to take rebirth and there, but it's a contribute. Of course, there's no one cause, one condition. So you have to have lots of causes and conditions. But in the God realms, the jealous God realms, right? It's a jealous God realm. Yeah. Called Asura. So, yeah, called Asura. Human, animals, hungry ghost, Pitta, and the hell realms. As human, we are closely related to the interact with the animal realm. These other realms are not part of our daily experience. But we have been in all these places in our millions and millions of the past lives. From Buddhist point of view, we had been millions years, or maybe billions years. Our mind is much older than this planet. This planet has beginning, right? Our mind doesn't have beginning. And how mind is, as yesterday I mentioned, that it's not material things. It doesn't have substance. Main cause of mind must be mind, awareness. The present mind, arising previous mind, then go back to back and back. There is no beginning.
Right, but as far as humans on this planet, we haven't been humans on this planet.
Yeah, sure. This planet is a 7 point sign 13.7 something billion, or universe.
So does that say that
a Big Bang or something?
Does that say that before we were humans on another planet?
Yeah.
Or that because we have birthless, endless birthless human life, but on this planet we were only human a very short time compared to the planet.
That's right. Here, we had been, I'm talking about God realms and jealous God realms, we had been millions there, and other the world. It's not just human like us right now. Yeah, this time.
I just wanted to add, when we think about mind,
that's right.
the big mind.
Oh, okay.
Little mind, big mind.
Big mind and middle mind.
Yes. And this is individual to our present existence and so on.
Okay.
But this big mind is indestructible, lasts ever, and it's not a human mind. And that we share this mind. It's not, it's not our mind. It's shared by all beings, by all things animate and inanimate. So in that context, that's why it supersedes the element of time itself. Does that make sense?
It's limitless in time and space.
Yes.
Time and space.
In time and space, exactly, yes. So,
and here, yeah, go ahead.
So it's just underlining the point that it's a mind that we all share, that we're all part of. And what we're trying to do is to uncover the blockages that keep us from being able to realize that and then live that, to make that part of our waking consciousness and so on. That's enlightenment.
I'm not too sure about the sharing with the big mind. You are part of it.
Well, we're part of it.
That has to be verified by that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Okay. Here, Buddhist point of view, we have mind. That's I'm talking about some sort of self. And here, what I'm saying is that we had been God realms. We had been. It's not just only talking about humans, and jealous God realms and other realms, hell realms too. And this consciousness, as it doesn't have beginning, but this is a common Buddhist teachings, but uncommon, some particular teaching, like a Dzogchen example, then we do have some sort of the beginning. Requires a lot of teachings, background. Individual, we do have beginning, how we started, and how we are going to end of the life. And in the Sutta, in the common Buddhist teaching, saying that we don't have beginning, we don't have end. But in individual, we don't have beginning, but this samsara mind, we will have end. When we enlightened, then the discursive thought, me and mind, is carrying a lot of troubles. It's not going to continue. It's going to end. And
how about beginning? Is it the doctrine of the beginning also?
yeah, some way of rising. We do have beginning.
Beginning of the two, right? Not the one that maybe when it starts with your, when you are into the samsara.
Yeah, how we confused from the original ground. Original ground. I'm not. Let's go that direction. It's another teachings. You need a lot background, but the original ground as arising as presence of the ground. So then someone recognize as Samanthabhada, Kundasambo, and that's like sentient beings. We don't recognize as we grasped and then made it confused, and the samsara continuing. We are then more fabricating and then so forth, right? In Abhidharma, first sentient beings start. I'm not going to the Dzogchen this point of view. But in the Abhidharma, that's where we are working. In Abhidharma, the sentient beings started this formless realm. There is no form, just only mental being. Then slowly, form realm started. Form realm means that they have form, but not form like a corporeal body. So they have a light body.
Like the higher heaven.
That's right. That's all God realms. Then later, desire realm started. Slowly just developing desire realm. So we are the part of desire realm beings. So in the general, there is no beginning, there is no end. Some Buddha's disciple ask, do they have beginning, do they have end, and so forth. He didn't answer. He said that there is no time to investigating, examining, and spend a lot of time here. He's saying that if someone shoot a poisonous arrow, just immediately have to take out this poisonous arrow. If you look at where its directions came from, who's shot the arrow, and if at that moment, if you take a lot of time, that person maybe die. Similar, we are in the samsara. The battle just illuminated in our suffering, to free from the suffering, to spend the time in here, free from physical problems, mental problems. And he got that directions in the Sutta teachings. And also, of course, it has some values we have to know how it started, how we are going to end. And the last Dharma teachings, we want to know the truth. And lots of teachings exist.
Yeah, even Holy Star Lama said that even we think we start from the Big Bang.
Okay.
But actually, before Big Bang, there's another Big Bang. So that's why we don't know it.
It could be.
And also time is also a product of samsara. The time is belongs to samsara and it can vary also, it's true. So time is also impermanent. It's not
time and space.
Yeah.
That's right. It's all relative. Relative means samsara. And When we're talking about past, present, futures, then it's relative. There is no real time, the past or present. It depends. Like yesterday, we say the past. But the day before yesterday, if you measure the day before yesterday, then it's future. It's all exist, interdependently exist. So we are going to talk about a little bit, and here and there, left and right, it depends. Up and down. And here, if you measure this is up, and here, then it's down. If you sit here, then it's there. If you sit there, then this is. It's just shifting these directions. It exists, but it's not truly something exists. Time. And ultimate point of view, there is no time. Sometimes we described as fourth time, timeless time, equality time, using, but basically say there is no time. Okay. Yeah, so our mind have lots of habit, me and mine, based on their a lot mental concept, habitual patterns carrying. It's not simple, you know, few hours meditate and receiving and a few days or few years, some teachings. It's not simple, it's just illuminated some patterns. What I'm saying is that these patterns comes from millions, billions years. From Dharma point of view, our mind is much older than this planet. So that means some patterns is not that simple. And on the other hand, in Vedic teaching saying that it doesn't matter how old, how dark and thick is, and the dark, if they are just light comes through, then illuminated the darkness. Similar, some Dharma profound method is we can illuminate it in our ignorance, some selfish, self-centered attitude. Okay. Okay, past lives. At one time or another, each of us have experienced it. All these type of lives is in the six realms, and our countless millions of the past births. The non-human realms of samsara are normally invisible to us, except for the human animals. Yeah, animals just we see it, and others we don't. And a lot of phenomena really we don't know. We just know the phenomena is that related to one's own senses, our mental abilities. It's not the limit for the phenomena, it's a limit for our abilities.
Say again?
It's a limit for our abilities.
For animal?
Ability to seeing, hearing, tasting. And some Dharma teaching saying that when we don't see anything in like space, right? Arhats, and look at, and they see a lot of sentient beings. And if arhats, they don't see limitless beings, like both Arya Bodhisattvas look at the same place, they see more than the arhat beings exist. And still, Arya Bodhisattva has a limit. They don't see limitless beings. Omniscient, like enlightened being, Shakyamuni Buddha, when they look at the same place, they're limitless beings. Then also, yeah, there is no completely empty space. Yeah, there are limitless sentient beings exist. Limitless sentient beings. Sometimes, yeah, and I think science is saying there's dark matter, we don't know, 90% or something. They called 90%? Something, there's something, but we don't know what it is. Yeah, dark matters. Do you heard those terms? Yeah, maybe. Will be discovered in the futures. But slowly, go that directions. In the omniscient, like Shakyamuni Buddha, they described this kind of phenomena. Okay. Animals. In addition, these realms of samsara are not the only unseen realm of existence. Tibetan tradition teaches that which means Tibetan Buddhism, they are realm outside of samsara, such as the pure abode of enlightened, the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, realized teachers who have died but no longer return to samsara, and the deities who are protectors and the guides, they live there. The pure realms, like Buddha Amitabha Ram, for example, a Copper Color Mountain, Pemasambhava's place, or Potala, or Tara and Avalokiteshvara's realms, that usually we don't see it, but the pure realms exist.
You said that they pervade our space as well?
It's possible. Yeah. It's not contradict.
Not that it's a place there.
But there are so, that here, everywhere, yeah. It's a one single atom holds as atom of the universe. That's in the teachings. We don't see that, but Buddha's Greek Bodhisattvas see that way. Really? Atoms? Yeah, that's great. And if you recite King of Aspiration, Noble Conduct, it's there saying that, and also other teachings describing, and one, this is describing big or small. It's related to the one's own mind, our opinions. The reality, there is no big or small.
Super small is equal to super big.
Yeah, right. If just look at it in our mind, that it's impossible. One small atoms even can't hold this, candy. But that's the kind of mind we have. But reality is the transcend of that level of phenomena.
And 1 millisecond equal to trillion years. It's the same idea.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the small trillion
years.
Yeah. That's in the higher dimension when you achieve a higher.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the same idea of how you say that the gods live 0,000 years, the lifespan that long, that human beings have?
I think 300, more than 300 years. In the teachings, I think God, there are lots of God realms, levels. So some there, I don't remember exactly the years. I think one day is 50 years of the humans. That's definitely. As one that's in the story, Asanga Vasubandhu. Do you know Asanga Vasubandhu? Is a great teacher of the Mahayana Buddhists, and Indian great master. Wrote a lot of commentaries. His story is very interesting. Asanga and Vasubandhu, they're brothers. Asanga is older, Vasubandhu is younger brother. Asanga entered into the Mahayana path. Vasubandhu, he followed the Hinayana. Very scholar, amazing teacher. And they sometimes debate together, brothers. And Vasubandhu is well trained, and just Asanga just went to the retreat, practicing metta. Then he really wanted to see directly in person metta. He meditated many years, but nothing happened. It come out, then again, then it come out again. But then one time he thought he doesn't have any karmic connections now seeing metta. And it come out, he saw the dog, sick dog rotting the upper part of the body. Because there are lots germs and insects it's eating. Maggots? Okay. Yeah, wounded and yeah. So then Asanga raising really compassion. He want to take it out, but he can't do it through the hands because it's hurting the dog and also germs, insects. And he want to take out through his tongue. And he closed eyes. He's tried to take out this germ, lick it. But then there is no dog, rotting dog. And he saw the metta. Metta appears. Asanga saying that, oh, you are not compassionate. I was waiting, meditating many years for you. Metta says, I was always with you. You don't see me. And now you have very strong compassion arising. That means that compassion purified his karma and kleshas. Now he's seeing it. If you don't believe in me, you should test. Metta sat in the shoulder of the Asanga, and he walked on the market. He asking anybody, who's in my shoulder, who's on my shoulder. Nobody sees anything except one old lady. She sees dog. So then, Asanga went to the Jajata heaven, this is God Ram, and he received some teachings from the Metia. He was there short period of time, that tea break, like 30 minutes example. He feel like 30 minutes there. When he returned to the earth, 12 years passed. He returned to the earth, 12 years passed. Earth time, 12 years. So, yeah, that's how I describe it. The Rams has lived, life is a very long time. The Sugavati, usually the pure Ram, Sugavati, Amitabha's Ram, they're, I think, 500 years regular. And a lot of Dharma practitioners choose the Ram of Sugavati because Sugavati is the easiest we can get it, the pure Ram. And other Rams, if you don't have high realizations, it's very hard to get it there. Or if you have to have achieved some high realizations. And in Sugavati, this is in the teaching saying that easiest the way to get it, even ordinary person. We don't have to be like Arya Bodhisattvas or Arhat something. Just like us right now, if we make a karmic connection certain to the Amitabha, then we can get it in the pure Ram Sugavati's place. So a lot of Dharma practitioners choose the Ram, just prepare for the death, right? We don't know when we'll die. If that's occurred, we notice I'm going to die, then we have to have kind of concentration or motivation as one to go there. When light, red light or Amitabha appears, then the tension is that I'm going to the Sugavati, not touching anything in this world. Now it's just time to go in the West and Sugavati. If we have that very strong commitment, intention, and likely take rebirth in the pure Ram, and that still we are ordinary person, but then in the teaching saying that we can receive teachings from the Amitabha and become the Bodhisattva, and they take the Mahayana path, and they become enlightened there. Then we have choice. If we want to return to the earth to help sentient beings, we can. This is take a rebirth to this earth. It's not rebirth by karma and kleshas, from the compassion, aspiration and compassion. Yeah. Which one? Sugavati. We have Amitabha. Yeah, sutras. Yeah, I think Chinese. They have Chinese and then Tibetans. We have.
It's called Ayidava. Ayidava is the Vietnamese way, the Chinese army or the Pure Land sect. Right. And yeah, what is this story?
Oh, this text, it's in the Kanjur, the collection of the Buddhas. There are several sutras. Yeah, several sutras.
The commentary that is amazing that that is true. The science, because that is the part of the theory of the relative that Einstein did, and this within the theory of the simultaneity. That is exactly what you described has been proved by science.
Yes.
Oh, the time?
Yeah, Einstein for the theory of the relativity, and within that also has the purity and simultaneity. So what this story is describing is exactly that purity.
Yeah, probably.
And what's the connection of Pure Land and Amitabha?
Oh, okay.
But then there's also other views, like the Pure Land of the medicine Buddha.
That's right. A lot.
Others also.
That's right.
And very little is said about the Eastern Pure Land of medicine Buddha.
Yeah.
Why is it so? And is it also develop a motivation to be born in the Eastern Pure Land of medicine?
Could be. Yeah, but that's also, it's possible, but other medicine Buddha, like Vajrasattva, Akshobhya, those, this I'm just thinking about those teachings. It's a little bit hard, but just as ordinary like us, then easiest way to get the Pure Land, Sugabati, and also Taras, Rams, you know. But yeah, we can get it Pure Ram, we can get it the Potala, Taras place, and any other places.
Can I share? I just got a internet last night. It's about a Chinese old lady who died through the practice of Pure Land, Amitabha, and it's very amazing. It's probably the only way you don't need to go through bottle.
Oh, okay.
Directly go, no bottle.
Oh, okay.
And for the medicine Buddha, Pure Land, say if you are the qualification like 700 SAT, you know, you have to get a score of 700 SAT before you can go to medicine Buddha, Pure Land. But Amitabha only 200.
Much closer.
Yeah, and then what happens is when you go to Amitabha Pure Land at the Metro Center, and then you again enough qualification, and then you can still go to medicine Pure Land.
And here.
Yeah, that's the break.
Here, and Amitabha, Ram, any Dharma practitioners, we can take rebirth in Sukhavati, and also other Rams too. But here, it's not contradict. It's not just some territory, you know, area, something. It's just pure Ram, right? Pure Ram. There is no painful and suffering. There is no birth for like humans. It's the miraculous birth. Everything what you wish just comes to in the palm. There is no grasping, you know, so forth. If you want to go to and other realms, you can. And even it's not that. If someone achieved the first bhumi, we have 10 bhumis, right? Realizations. Then you can go to 100 realms one time, spontaneously 100 realms.
No visa.
No visa. No visa. No passport. They just only have to realization. Oh, okay.
As I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
That we're talking about different rams,
Okay.
rams, and all different kind of rams.
Okay.
One of the lower rams we can easily see, like animal.
That's right.
But other rams that it's like we never see.
That's right.
We are not be able to see.
That's right.
But as I understand, samsara and nirvana, or hell, or like,
That's right.
it's everything within our mind. It's not like a physical places that we are going there. So if that's correct, is it possible, like, especially for in those cases for some lamas,
Okay.
very high lama,
Yeah.
that they just really sit there, but their mind would go somewhere to attend like a teaching from the Buddha, and then actually when you mentioned about like when he come back, is already 12 years in Earth time. Would that be possible that it's really he's not going anywhere? He just sit there in meditation, meditating.
That's right. That's right.
And then
Possible.
when he wake up or whatever, when he get out of the meditation, is already 12 years past. It's just like some lama that in retreat. And maybe their time when they are in retreat is not really. It could be 12 years, 10 years. But to them, it's not really that long. Would that be possible?
Could be possible. And yeah, it's like a dream, right?
Because I don't really think that it's a physical places.
And one way we can here, samsara, when we describe humans, animals, and the gods, then if long as we are living in these kind of conditions, situations, then there is we can describe other realms. So like animal is not just it's us in our mind, right? It's there animal realms exist. But and also one Shantideva described that too, saying that the hell realms is just a part of mental states. He described that. It's the disturbing emotions mind. And when we have very strong disturbing emotions, then we will have appears as those realms as very difficulties. It's there. It's like a nightmare, right? That's right. I think in this case, the teachings, Buddha is not in the earth, and his disciples looking at, right? His bodies then they're not looking to where is Buddha, In this case, Buddha is physical. The Buddha's body is not there. I think it's a.
This is during his lifetime on earth.
Yeah. So his lifetime, 3 months, and also this is the God realm has many levels, and here is a desire realm, some God realms. We don't describe them like Asanga's, theory. The time, the 3 months he went to the God realm to teach some Dharma to his mother and other gods, and his disciples, like Shariputra example, was with him, and others, and the Mongolia Buddha is in the earth, and back and forth, kind of sending message, as back and forth, and that's in the teaching saying. So those. What we have to know here is that a lot of things we don't know. It's just only some teachings we have to only trust the great being like Shakyamuni Buddha. Otherwise, it's very hard to describe. We don't have ability to see that level of reality. Our mind, it's a limit. Always make mistakes. like sit here, doesn't matter how much you try to feel Earth is moving, speeding in the space. We can't feel that. It's a stable one place. It's wrong, right? We know that now. In the past, we don't know it. If you look at in the sky, always sun is moving. That's also, it's wrong, we know it. That kind of, we have abilities. And then, someone who has very subtle mind and wisdom, hundreds of millions stronger, sharper, and calmer than us. Those beings describing many levels of the realms. And it exists. Yeah.
The Dharma explains that the 6 rooms, we can find it within this samsara. But also, those are kind of metaphor, or as I have heard some people also, when they relate to the hungry ghosts or spirits, they relate it with the concept, Christianity concept of hell or spirit. So this is a little bit kind of cloudy. So can you expand on it?
It's not, I think, a metaphor. It's the different realms exist, like us. That's we take a rebirth and the many realms. Oh, yeah, we have similarities. Some in the teachers describe as mentalities, mental state of human beings. And I think we can say that it's some sort of makes sense for us right now. But if you look at in the teachings, then that's not exactly the matching. The teaching saying that there is realms exist, but we have that kind of similarities, like a jealous, and we have envy. We have greedy. Yeah, greedy is anger is like a cost of take a rebirth. Hell realms is related to hell, and also we have greedy and grasping. It's a hungry ghost, and we have pride and so forth. And yeah, similarities, we do have that. And if you look at in just general in our world, you can see similarities. Some people, like in Africa, when I didn't see directly, but I saw some photos. So they're describing like a hungry ghost. So they're big belly, small throat, big head. Exactly, they're describing. And the hungry ghost, the beings. And also some it's hard to say. One of my friends, he's now I don't know where he is. Sometimes he describes me that, I'm a hungry ghost. But it's interesting. The first I thought, why are you saying this? But later it seems to me it makes sense. Big belly, he has lots of things, but he's worrying, gain weight, and he couldn't eat it. And it makes problems. Yeah. So, they have food, and when they eat it, it's turned to the trouble.
I don't understand this. So I see some Buddha is the same because every Buddha is one Buddha is every Buddha. But in fact, right, they got a medicine Buddha and they got Amitabha Buddha.
Oh, okay.
They got a Western Buddha, right? So it makes me a little bit
confused. Okay. Okay. Here, someone enlightened, then there is no higher and lower, or the one who has high realizations, others who low something. And everything is same. Usually we say the same taste, right? And then someone, realized that state, that there is no difference. And another, what we have to know is that two ways to describe the Buddha. The nature, sometimes we call it nature Buddha, or Dharmakaya point of view, then there is no difference. Medicine Buddha and Amitabha and Avalokiteshvara and so forth. And then that's to benefit for sentient beings that appears different forms. The someone's Amitabha is more helpful than Avalokiteshvara. And some people's Avalokiteshvara is more helpful than Amitabha. Some people's Pemasambhava is more powerful, more related, more helpful than Avalokiteshvara, so forth. This appears like Shakyamuni Buddha and the different manifestations of the Buddha's bodhisattvas. According to the sentient beings, the Buddha's bodhisattvas come to this world for the sentient beings. But they're not trying to get some jobs, right? Their job is to just try to awake sentient beings. It's not necessarily the confusion and samsara that they help to us. And in this sense, if we offering to the Buddha's statues, Buddha's bodhisattvas, postations, it doesn't make big difference for them. It matters for us. If you're offering to the Buddhas or particular statues, it's if you practice those teachings, it's not a cause to become a Buddha. Buddha is already enlightened, the beings. It matters for us. We have to have accumulated merit, the merit that is a cause of enlightenment. Sure, please.
And this question might be, to you all, might be a little stupid and funny, but it's just bothering me.
Okay.
I just want to clear it out, just for me.
Sure.
As you know that, at some time, or several times, the Buddha, Sakyamuni, when he gave the teaching to thousands and thousands of disciples.
Right.
A different level.
That's right.
That's what we heard. And just like logistically, in my mind, okay, here we have like a little, very small temple. And when you give the teaching, you already need a mic or a speaker so everybody can hear.
Sure.
Now, when you're talking about way back, 1,000 years ago, when there's no such thing as this equipment, how would all the thousand of disciples would hear the Buddha's teaching from his voice?
Okay.
And that made me wondering again, back to my previous thinking, that would that be like, really, in reality, the Buddha give the teaching through meditation, meditative mood. That means that everybody, all the time, Lama, monk, they're sitting in the meditation, and the Buddha give the teaching that way, not like speaking out like the way we are doing right now as we speak.
Okay. There sometimes, like a Hadasita's point of view here, Buddha was meditating that samadhi, a fate of Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra, effect means blessed, blessed Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra, then they realized this meaning of the Harsura, that they have dialogue between the Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara for the disciples in the futures. And the other is that Buddha directly he's teaching it. He's teaching it, but his voice is the result of a lot's merit. His body and speech, mind is the result of hundreds, thousands, merit. And then he has a special, extraordinary voice that abilities to, spread further. Some, I think, teachings saying that there is no difference between close and a long distance. And also, there is no difference audience. Every audience can hear their own language. And also, another saying that, and different audience hear different teachings.
So no translator needed.
No need a translator, no need a microphone, no need saying, oh, this. But, like Hinayana and Mahayana and Vajrayana, there are different levels of beings. The gods, nagas, yakshas, lots, beings. So then they can hear their own language and individuals' abilities to, the capacity to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And other, I think they're saying, some I thought, I now forget. Yeah, the Buddha is different, has extraordinary abilities.
So is that one of his marks, the minor or major mark about the voice?
Major or minor marks is related to his body. Voice is, we call Soyan Tuju, there are 60 maladies, qualities of his voice teachings. Yeah. This example. Usually, when Buddha gives the teachings, a lot non-human audience, like the first 20 well of Dharma, just 5 humans, and 84,000 non-human beings received his teachings. Yeah.
Yes, may I just want to add, see, we are for the Bodhisattva, they can actually saw Lord Sakyamuni has not finished teaching in the Vajra Peak Mountain even up to now. But we are some sort of being, we all know he has finished that in 1 hour and finished. Actually, non-stopping, for a higher level, some Buddha can saw Buddhas still keep on teaching, till now. You know what I mean?
I didn't get it.
See, in the Sutra, Buddha keep teaching, about what in a certain time.
Yeah, right.
But for some great Bodhisattva, just like in this, several hundred years, they can even see Buddha never finished yet that teaching till now. So for different level, we see differently. Buddha's teaching in the 3,000 years ago is still not finished yet. For some Bodhisattva, they can see it.
Oh, is it continuing teaching it?
Yeah, but by Sutra, he already finished and everything done, finished, dedicated or whatever. But for some Bodhisattva, they can see the same teaching still
continuing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Teaching,
Scientifically, it says that when the light goes on emanating from the earth, going out into space, everything is still going. The Buddha is still teaching, and the human beings and non-human beings are still listening today, because the light is carrying the pictures, the image of
Sure.
Still there today. It's just like we're still breathing the air that the Buddha was breathing over 2,000 years ago. We're still breathing the same air.
Sure. Okay. Shakyamuni Buddha, right? Still teaching.
Still teaching, yes.
Yeah, still teaching. His teachings remained in this world 5,000 years.
That's the prediction.
It's a prediction.
Why so short?
Then other Buddha have to have chance.
So we have to wait until Abhidhamma.
Yeah.
Then we have to wait until Abhidhamma comes.
Material Buddhas comes and then training the well of Dharma.
And there is a gap for 5,000 years before Buddhas.
Material will come much longer than that. Millions years, millions. He said, wait till the next Buddha comes, Wait till human age is 80,000 years old. That's what Maitreya comes.
Maitreya comes that late, according to the sutra says.
Lifespan, 80,000 years old. That's what Maitreya come and become another Buddha.
Not 10,000?
No, 80,000.
80,000. That's too long. I won't be able to see him. Oh no, I will in my future life. Yes. I'm glad.
Yeah, we'll be at your 80,000th.
Why did you have to wait that long?
We'll be at your 80,000th birthday.
Oh, okay. Now, 80,000 here. A way to think about the cycle of birth in samsara is that we are like travelers, always moving in and out of 6 hotels. Each time we check into one of the hotels, that's I'm using just examples, right? We get a new room. Usually we don't remember our past hotels or rooms, thinking each time that the person one is the only one we have known. Actually, we just stay there for a little while and then check out, leaving our luggage behind. And that's why we don't remember it. That's life. Maybe I can read. Yeah, a little bit. Think about a good fortune right now, right? It's amazing how technology has created a comfortable life for so many people and made wisdom teachings really available, either directly from a teacher or through the various medias. Just the ability to write and the marvelous wonder that we take for granted. Because the human ability to write, today we can read the wisdom of Buddha that he spoke thousands of years ago. We are like a magician moving around the earth with our computers and cell phones. At this present time, with the internet, the media technology, we are able to receiving teachings from around the world while sitting in our homes. Even the death of the teacher does not stop our ability to see and hear his or her teachings. Since the videos, talks, they are downloaded and it's free. We are fortunate to be alive in this time when the news practitioner can experience teachers, both living and dead, at the click of button of mouse. In the past, this is a very interesting, this time. Just think about it, like Dunjun Rinpoche, Tiko Chinse Rinpoche, 16 Karmapa and others. They passed away, I never met them. But now if you go to YouTube and some of their teachings, you can see their you can hear their voice, their movement, everything. This is the very special. If we just take it advantage, then it's very, very helpful. In the past, only some great beings, they're in the dream or in the vision, they can receive some teachings. But we don't have to go that directions, just go to internet. Similar, you can do it. Think about all the good qualities of being human is something we practice at the start of meditation session in order to fill our mind with. Okay. I'm very pleased to be a human being, yet I know that I can make what I have been given even better. I know I'm not perfect, yet I also know I have the ability to transform our misperceptions. Remembering is when I begin to practice. To study makes any effort needed during the sections much more freely available. Rest and meditation is not just sitting on a cushion and zoning out. Contemplative meditation is not just thinking about whatever arising in the mind. Practicing either form of meditation takes joyful exertion and the self-discipline. Think of how fortunate you are right now. You have these chances to work with your mind. When you take a joyful interest in the meditation and understanding that outstanding relevance of what you are doing, you won't be distracted by less important thoughts, tempted by it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, then we have precious human birth, right? Precious human birth. We have just human birth, but also we have more than just human life. Just having a human body alone does not automatically make human birth precious. Reflect on the 18 conditions, 10 endowments, and the 8 freedom of being human. Okay. Then we have here, some list I can mention some. We have human form, which provide the necessary support for the practice of Dharma. Our sense faculties are intact. Teachings, we have a wholesome lifestyle and the right view. We have in a place where the Buddha appears, in the uppercase Shakyamuni Buddha. Sometimes that there is no Buddha. Sometimes we don't have Dharma teachings and teachers, but that's a little bit different than the past. Now, if we have the karmic connection with Dharma and the teachers and teachings, then it's available through the social media, internet. This is a very good fortune for us. If we have a great good fortune, if we don't recognize them, then it's not much valuable. If we recognize and using it, then it is helpful. And if we have faith in the Buddha's teachings, otherwise we are not interested. Even Buddha's taught very precious, amazing teachings. It's very, very helpful. This is really antidote of the suffering. Those liberation informations, it's a human, the great teachers, to preserve and their give to us. Yeah, it's one of the greatest medicine to remove our suffering. And we are able to practice teachings. We are able to receive the guidance of an authentic living teacher and a spiritual friend. Like, Dharma example, it's a great teacher. It's amazing embodiment of compassion. And all he is alive to serve and other sentient beings. And they are living, authentic living teacher. When many Dharma students, when the living teacher, authentic living teacher present, we don't recognize it's a good fortune. It's a great opportunity to have receiving teachings. When they passed away, we don't have, they don't stay with us, then realize maybe later late. And so I think that's very much. If you read more, then we have here some more informations how to make purchase human birth. Just being human is really, it's amazing. Think about it. And only in this planet, there are countless sentient beings live now. Human is the best one. And think about it, our language. Human, this language described many wisdom teachings, clearly explained. And not only just explained, that we read and write. It's some sort of magic. Over 2,560 years ago, the Buddha, the great teacher, and gave the lots of teachings, we still can learn because human abilities, writing skills. If you just only think about that, we can celebrate. And not only this, we have opportunity to study this. First, have to have human body, we already have it. Then we have to have mental capacity to study this, we already have it. Then we have to have faith or interested, we already did. We have to have time, we have time now. It's a lot causes, conditions. So now it's come together. That's in the Dharma teachings. It's not that simple. Even if lack of one of them, we don't have opportunity to study and contemplate and meditate. But we have all. This is in the teaching saying that it's a kind of magic. We did in the past lives many good fortune, good things. So now we have this. So that's all. I think the time's over. Yeah, I think dedication.
A short dedication. Page 25. by the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate reparation, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and pleasures enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Khenpo Gawang Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation, until the end of samsara. So we'll have lunch and come back at 2 o'clock. If anyone has not registered, please take a moment, stop by the front desk and put your name down. All contributions are always gratefully accepted. And at the end,